Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today I'm in Whiteville, North Carolina, visiting Van Underwood Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, and I'm checking out a 2017 Jeep Grand Cherokee in the Summit trim level. It's a four-wheel drive vehicle. It does have one option, and that is the dark Sierra brown leather interior, which looks fantastic. So let's go ahead and check it out. This Summit is sitting on 265 50 R20 Pirelli Scorpion tires, wrapped around a stunning set of alloy wheels, polished aluminum alloy wheels, and it also has four-wheel disc brakes with ventilated disc brakes in the front and solid disc brakes in the back. The name of this color is Diamond Black Crystal Pearl, and it looks fantastic, especially when the sun shines directly on it. And check out that grille. You have the 7-slot grille with the chrome, bright chrome bezel around each portion of the 7-slot grille, and in the center the pattern is a matte chrome, and the headlights have a gunmetal bezel around the headlights and an LED accent around them. And then you notice it says since 1941 there on this one. On this side you have a little Jeep, which is pretty awesome. You have the chrome accent around the bottom. There's your adaptive cruise control radar. Across the front you have the parking sensors. These are in the front and the back. Those little circles. Has the LED daytime running lights there at the bottom, and the headlights are in a projector tube and they're powered by HID bulbs, and the fog lights are LEDs. The headlights also have this little door pops out, and they're headlight washers, so they'll squirt some solution on the headlights to, kind of high pressure spray to help clean them off when necessary. This is what your key looks like. It's a proximity key system, and it's designed to just keep in your pocket the whole time. You can actually use this vehicle without taking it out of your pocket. It does have some buttons though: unlock and lock, the ability to open up the power liftgate, and a remote start, and a panic button. It does have a physical key on the inside. Using this little latch, you can take it out in case you need it. As long as I have the key with me, I can just put it in my pocket, walk up to the vehicle. I can lock the doors by pushing this button, and I can unlock them just by simply putting my hand behind the handle. It senses the key within the close proximity of the vehicle. It senses my hand position and unlocks the door. Alright, so here's the inside of the passenger door. It has all soft to the touch all around your arm as well as up in here. You have a open pore wood accent across the side, and that flows in to the dashboard. You also have that chrome accent right below it. Little storage pocket right here, and your handle can put stuff in there as well. You have the French design contrast stitching. Tweeter speaker, regular speaker here, and then another speaker in the door. That's part of the Harman Kardon audio system, which is awesome. Then you have a bottle holder and a little storage pocket there. Here's your threshold, and it has an illuminated sill plate with the words Summit written on it. Power adjustable seats here for the passenger, and it also has a 4-way lumbar adjustment. So this one has the dark sienna brown interior with the awesome brown leather seats. Now they're heated and cooled, and they have the stitching here on the side with the solid leather, and then you have the perforated Napa leather there in the center. Very comfortable seats, and you're able to go up and down. They're like a dentist chair. They go all over the place, so you can get really comfortable. Plenty of legroom as well, and you can see the floor mats are kind of like a Berber carpet, and they hook in place with these little buttons, like these big buttons, so they're really easy to secure in the vehicle, and nice and smooth looking. They don't have like these big hooks sticking out. You can see the wood and the chrome flow into the dashboard here. You have a soft to the touch surface on the dashboard, and then you have the open pore wood. All looks really good. You have a lockable glove compartment as well, and it's felt lined and pretty good size. You also have a little storage pocket up here for putting your manual or whatever. Now it has the privacy glass, so it keeps the sun from shining on you and also people from looking in the back. And check out that chrome accent around the windows. That's looking nice, as well as there at the bottom. Then the Grand Cherokee name is outlined in chrome with the black in the center. And of course the chrome handles. Now for the privacy glass, reduces glare. It doesn't limit your visibility out of the vehicle. It actually reduces the glare, so it increases it. Okay, so here's the inside of the back door, and it has the soft to the touch features around your arm. It even has the open pore wood back here as well, and the chrome accent. You have 2 speakers in this door, bottle holder. You can utilize that for putting small items, and then you have a little small item pouch there. Here's your threshold area. And the floorboard is quite a ways down, so it feels like you're sitting in a chair back here as well as the front. You have the net pockets in the back of the front seats, and the front seats are kind of dished out, so it gives you a little bit more leg room. And the back seats are heated as well with the Napa leather seats, perforated in the center. It also has the latch system for the car seats on all 3 positions. Cup holders in the center armrest with the chrome around the outside. That lifts up in case you need a center passenger. Now the center passenger will have to deal with this slight hump here in the center, which it is flat on top, so it's not a big deal. Then you have your vents, 2 USB chargers, and a 115 volt AC adapter here in the back, as well as your 2-stage heated seat buttons. And check out that panoramic sunroof. It's awesome. Really helps with sitting in the back seat. You can kind of reduces your claustrophobia, I guess. You also have some speakers here in the back, right here, and the A, B, C, D pillars. Yeah, and the D pillars. I think I got that right. Has the chrome roof rails there on top. Then you have the spoiler with your 3rd brake light, windshield wiper in the back, or the rear wiper, LED tail lights. Love that Summit badging. You have a backup camera in the very center position, which is, I think, the best place to put it. You can also have a concealable tow hitch installed here, so the bumper actually covers it up. You have the parking sensors across the back and the front. And check out these exhaust tips and the dual exhaust. They're looking pretty awesome. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look on the inside. Now there's 2 ways, actually 3 ways of opening it up. You can push this button under here, but in this case we're just going to use the key. So I like the way the key is designed to where as you're walking to the vehicle, let's say you're pushing a shopping cart, you have people with you, got the kids with you or whatever, you can go ahead and start the vehicle, get the air conditioner or heat going, and you can unlock the vehicle. But you can also open up the power lift gate so you can start putting your stuff in there. You also have 2 sources of light, so at nighttime it reduces shadows and illuminates the entire area behind the vehicle, which is fantastic. Okay, so you have the shade, and you can slide it out of the way like so, or you can actually remove it. So you can push in the end, it unhooks, and you can remove that completely in case you need some more cargo space. Okay, so even with all the passengers in the vehicle, you still have an incredible amount of cargo space back here. It's just fantastic. So you have some bag holders here on the side, subwoofer, 12-volt power supply. You have the cargo tie downs on all four corners. You have an LED rechargeable flashlight right there, so you can always grab that in case you need an extra light. There's a little net pocket that you can string across the back if you want to use that. You have these alloy sill plates here, so as you're pushing stuff in the vehicle, these will take the brunt of the sliding, I guess you could say. Now it has the Berber carpet mat back here, which is reversible. It actually has a rubber portion on the back, so you can flip it over in case you need to like put plants or something on it, or whatever you want to protect the carpet. And then you also have these sliders here, so if you're putting a box in and you rest it, you can easily slide it across, and you don't have to worry about it messing up the carpet or anything like that. It just makes it easier for loading and unloading. So this back portion lifts up, and you can lift it up, and it has this little hook right here. So let's go ahead and grab that. And the hook is designed to hook up right here. So that way, this can be lifted up out of your way so you can access some more cargo space. So you have a full-size spare tire. Your tools are right there, all secure. Nothing's going to rattle. They're all separated in a cushioned place. You also have the funnel right here, which I'll show you what that's for in just a second. And you have these storage bins, and they're easily removed. You can take them out, you can dump them, clean them, put them back in. Really handy for just, just dirty laundry, or whatever you want to put in there. You can also use it as kind of like a cooler too. You can put some ice with some drinks in there and kind of tailgate or whatever, and then you can easily just dump it out. Of course, there's a little bit of space around the back of the spare tire in case you need to utilize that for just a little bit of an extra cargo space or whatever. Now the second row seats has a divider here. It's a 60-40 split seat system to where you can fold down one or the other to increase your cargo space, and you can actually have a combination of extra cargo space and passenger space utilizing that feature. Now once you fold both seats down and remove the shade, you have this massive open space for putting whatever you want. So when it's time to lower the power liftgate, you can of course use the key, or you can simply just push this button. It beeps at you a couple times, and then it starts lowering. If anything were to get in the way, like my hand, just a little bit of pressure and it goes back up. So it's not gonna crush a shopping cart or damage anything. You just still got to be careful with fingers, especially with children, but in general it's a fairly safe system. So there's a lockable fuel door, and it's on the driver's side, which is very convenient and a little bit safer, I think. Can open up like so, and it has no cap, so you don't have to worry about a cap. You don't have to worry about the cap being in your way, or the cap being too loose and your check engine light turning on, that kind of thing. So it's designed with a two-stage door opening system. The first one will not open unless you have a certain size object. The nozzle has to be the precise size of the nozzle of the fuel delivery nozzle, so that keeps things from going in there. It also has this this seal around the outside. Now if you need to use a gas can, you use that little funnel I showed you, so that way the funnel is able to go in there the correct distance and it's the correct size, so it opens up the gas tank so you can pour the gas in there. Just start it up. As long as you have the key inside the vehicle, it could be in your pocket or whatever. You put your foot on the brake, hold it, and push this button. Now you don't have to hold the button, you just have to push it, because it does have the tip start feature. Here's the floorboard in front of the driver's seat, and it has the Jeep badged floor mat with hooks in place in 2 places, as well as a footrest place there. And you actually have a carpeted footrest over here behind the foot actuated parking brake. There's your accelerator and brake pedals. So let's go ahead and take a look under the hood. To open the hood, there's a latch just here to the right of center, just under the P. Just reach in, move it to the left, and you raise the hood. It takes almost no effort to raise the hood, and once you get to about right there, it goes up all the way by itself. Alright, so here's your engine compartment, and you can see that the entire engine compartment is sealed off with that seal. Has an insulated firewall. You also have some heat shielding at the bottom. There's your strut towers. You can see they have the pneumatics going to them for raising and lowering the vehicle. Most of the wires are shielded. The hoses and wires have these shielding around them. Now it's quite a bit of space here in front of the engine. It is a V6 in this vehicle, but you can get a V8, so they have this little bit of extra space here, which allows us to see a little bit of the engine. Otherwise it's covered up with this cover. Now the oil filter is actually underneath this little cover here, so you're able to access it fairly easily. Now it's a 3.6 liter Pentastar V6 engine paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission. And if you don't have any experience with the 8-speed, you really have to take one for a test drive because they are fantastic. Okay, let's take a look on the inside of the driver's door, and it's just like the other side in styling and all. It just has a few more buttons. You have 2 memory seat positions for your power seat. You also have your door lock controls, your power window controls, and your side mirror adjustments here. The power windows on the front driver and passenger are one touch up and down, and they go up and down quite fast. And the windows are also, if you can see there, they're laminated, so it's a double pane, 2 pieces of glass with an acoustic material on the inside, so it keeps the vibrations of sound from entering the vehicle as best as possible. Your side mirrors, you can adjust them by picking a side, left or right, and then using this little pad here to adjust them, but it also has a power fold feature. You just push this button and you can fold in the side mirrors. Alright, so there's your threshold with the illuminated Summit name. Power adjustments here on the driver's seat as well, with the 4-way lumbar adjustment. And remember, they're heated and cooled seats. Right in here, we already saw your lockable fuel door button. Here's your headlight button. Your headlight switch, I should say. You have an automatic, off, parking light, and then your headlights, and then to turn on your fog lights, you just push this in like so. You have an interior dimmer switch here for your gauges, and a power telescoping and tilt steering column, so we can move it in and out and up and down to get that perfect position. On the side mirrors, there's a little triangle there, and that will illuminate when you have somebody in your blind spot. So those are your blind spot detector indicators, and there's a sensor back here in the rear corner panel, and it will detect if there's a vehicle in your blind spot. And the detection zone is from the rear view mirror, the side mirror here, all the way back to about 1 car length behind the vehicle. This feature also, as you're backing out of a perpendicular parking space, sort of like these cars here, if you're backing out, you may not be able to see around the cars that are next to you. So this system will let you know if there's a vehicle coming from the appropriate side. Now, if you're on the highway and there's somebody in your blind spot and you put your turn signal on in that direction, not only is that light will flash, but also it'll give you an audible warning as well. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look here on the inside of the vehicle. And man, is this seat comfortable. I have the lumbar support adjusted perfectly, and it's just a really comfortable vehicle and high quality feeling as well. Now I have plenty of leg room. I can put my legs almost completely straight out. My knee room is fantastic. So before we start looking too much on the inside, let's look at the window sticker. I don't actually have the real window sticker, I just have this printout of it, just so you can use the pause button and get any information you want off of it. So you can see everything is standard except for the optional equipment there of the dark Sierra brown, which looks great to me. Okay, so let's go ahead and start here on the steering wheel. So the steering wheel is a heated leather wrap steering wheel, high quality, soft to the touch, and it has this real wood portion here at the very top, and it looks shiny and you would think that it would be slippery, but it's actually very grippy, so you're not going to have any problems with gripping the steering wheel. And so you can see actually this is less grippy, so as I go up here it catches, see? So it's really comfortable and nice looking. Okay, so on the back of the steering wheel you can see it has paddle shifters. You have a plus and a minus on this side, so you can cycle through the 8 gear ratios manually if you want to. There's also on the back of the steering wheel, just under here, there's a toggle switch up and down with a center button. So basically it's designed with your hand here on the steering wheel. With your back fingers, it just lines up perfectly. You can adjust the volume on the right side with the up and down, and the center button will cycle through the different audio sources like AM, FM, satellite radio, that kind of thing. On the back of the steering wheel on the left side, you have the up and down for changing through your stations or your audio track, and then the center button will cycle through your presets or your favorites on your radio. On the front of the steering wheel, you have your cruise control, and it's not just a regular cruise control. Once you turn it on, you have the cruise control ready, but you also have the adaptive cruise control. So once that's turned on, so you can see it says ACC ready, this is a radar system that keeps you at the same speed of the vehicle in front of you if the vehicle in front of you slows down below your speed. I don't know if that makes sense, but let's say you're going 70 miles an hour on the highway, you have your cruise set at 70, and then there's a car in front of you that's going 68 or 65. Well, your vehicle is going to approach that car and then slow down to match their speed. Using the radar sensor, it keeps you at a certain distance and it keeps you at that speed. Once they get out of the way, change lanes or whatever, then your car will resume back to that speed that you normally had it set. So this way, on the highway, you're not constantly changing your speed and turning it off and turning it back on. It's just a simple way of just stress-free driving on the highway. It's absolutely amazing. So you can actually adjust your distance, and you'll see that as I change see this little car here, those little bars, showing you the distance. So as you're driving on the highway, I like a real far distance, so I would keep it at a far distance away from, each one of those bars is a car length. But sometimes if you leave too much space and somebody's going to get in front of you, and then you'll have almost no space. So you can fine tune it the way you want. So that's a really cool feature. Okay, here on the left side, you have your Bluetooth controls. You can answer calls, hang up, and then you have your voice recognition. And your voice recognition in this vehicle is fantastic. Not only can you say the name of the person you want to call, but also you can go to specific addresses on your navigation system. You can go to radio stations. You can adjust the climate control. There's all kinds of stuff you can do with using your voice while your hands are on the wheel and your eyes are on the road. Absolutely amazing. And right here, these buttons correspond with the screen between the gauges, which we'll get to in just a minute. Okay, so your turn signal is here, but you also have your front and rear windshield wiper controls. and they are rain sensing windshield wipers, by the way. Okay, so here's your gauges, and very simple, easy to read, easy to focus on. Everything's big and a good contrast to where when you're transitioning from looking at the road to the gauges, your eyes easily adjust to the look of these gauges. So with the black background and the white lettering popping through, perfect. Okay, so you have your RPMs here on the left. On the right side, you have your engine coolant temperature, your fuel gauge, what gear you're in. At the top, it shows your outside temperature, how high the vehicle is right here. So right now it's in the entry mode, the lowest position. And then you have a digital compass. Now you can change these things at the top to whatever you want, which we'll get into in a minute. But also you'll see these little icons here on the left, right in here, and you'll see that it has a digital speedometer here in the center. So using these buttons, I can scroll through. We can actually go to the right and change the look of the speedometer. So now it resembles an analog speedometer. Scrolling to the left, there's the digital speedometer. So I scroll down, and you can see this is part of a menu system with these little icons. So now I scroll down one, and you see the digital speedometer is still there, it's just smaller and at the top. Now, if I were to scroll to the right and have this type of speedometer and I scroll down, it just shows the information smaller in the center. Alright, so let's go up here and change that to the digital speedometer and then scroll down. So this is your vehicle info screen right here. And right now it's showing your tire pressure, but you can scroll to the right so you can see those little circles at the bottom showing you that there's more options here. So we can see the transmission temperature, oil pressure, oil life, battery voltage, and it goes back to your tire pressure. Scrolling down, we go into your four-wheel drive system, so we can go in there and see what we're doing as far as your height of the vehicle, your air suspension, your drivetrain, whether it's in four-wheel drive or whatever, the position of your wheels. So that's pretty cool. So I can move the steering wheel and it shows the position of the wheels. And then you have your articulation, so as the vehicle goes over bumps and things, you can actually see the articulation of the wheels. So that's pretty awesome. Scrolling down again, this is your driver assist, so you can see your distance here for your adaptive cruise control. And then you see your fuel economy, so it's going to give you a real-time bar as you're driving, let you know what you're getting. It'll give you an average and a range, so how far you can drive before you have to get gas. Scrolling down again, this is your trip. Now your trip gives you the miles, but also your average miles per gallon and your time. And you have two, A and B. Scrolling down again, this is your stop-start feature. It's just letting you know what the status of that is. So that is a feature that turns off the vehicle while you're holding the brake at a extended stoplight or stop sign thing, or in traffic, that kind of thing. Now it's not going to turn on right now. It's letting us know that the seat belt's unbuckled, so it's not activated. Scrolling down again, this shows what your radio is doing. Any stored messages like time to change the oil, that kind of stuff will show up here. And then you can go into your setup, and this is where you can actually change. So right now we have the digital compass up here, so let's go ahead and change that. Let's change that to, let's go to range. Let's change it to range. So we'll go ahead and change that. So now we know how far we can drive before we have to get gas. Kind of things like that in the settings. And then scroll down again and it shows your digital speedometer. So that's kind of a quick rundown of the information there. You don't actually have to go in any of that stuff. It's just there if you need it. You could just leave it right here, drive the vehicle, and not worry about it. It's just there as additional options. Okay, so here's your center stack, and it has the 8.4 Uconnect touchscreen here in the center. And the Uconnect system is very easy to use once you know a few basic principles. You see these little icons here at the bottom. Those will stay there the whole time. So right now we're on the radio screen. So you have AM, FM, satellite radio, and it gives you a little picture there and what's playing. You have your favorites there at the top, and it'll extend out and you have some more. You have quite a few. And you can adjust your audio here. So you can adjust your balance, your equalizer, speed adjusted volume, so it'll get louder as you drive faster, so that's handy. Okay, so there's more ways of playing music through the sound system using your media icon here. So you have your USB, auxiliary input, Bluetooth, and SD card inputs. Controls will reveal your heated seat controls, your ventilated seat for both your driver and passenger, your heated steering wheel. You can actually look at your backup camera without being in reverse, which is pretty cool. And then we hit the back button to go out of that. Then you can go into settings. There's lots of things in here. So your display settings, voice, clock, safety and driver assistance. Your lights, how long they stay on, how long the radio stays on. You can pair phones, all kinds of stuff in here. Like even if you don't want the vehicle to beep when you lock the doors, that kind of thing, you can turn that on and off. Okay, so next icon is your apps. Okay, so this kind of gives you all your icon possibilities here. So just to give you an example, right now we have the navigation right here. Let's say we want to put travel link there. We just grab it, hold it for a second, and drag it down, and it will put travel link right there. So if we want to find navigation, we can put navigation back there. Oh, there it is. Went too far. Right here. So we could just push that and hold it, and we can just kind of drag it there and put it there. So whatever we want to put there, we can. Okay, the next icon is the climate control. Right now it's off. Let's go ahead and turn it on so we can see what it looks like. You have your temperatures for your driver and passenger, where you want the air to blow, and then you can quickly access your heated seat controls and cooled seats. Your fan speed there in the center, recirculate the air conditioning, your front and rear defrosters are there. You can always sync the driver and passenger if you just want them both the same, and then you unsync it by just adjusting that or push the sync button. Okay, so your next icon is your navigation, which that's the one we chose, and you can put in a specific address. You can save addresses. You can have your home address, so you can be anywhere in the United States and hit go home. It'll take you back to your house. You can also view the map, and you can zoom in and out, see, get your bearings, see where you're at. We're in Whiteville, North Carolina at Van Underwood dealership. Now you notice that the icon has a truck there, so obviously we're not in a truck, we're in a Grand Cherokee. So let's go to settings, and we'll go to map setup, vehicle icon. Yeah, we don't want to have a truck, we want to have a Viper. So let's go here. We can choose a Grand Cherokee, we could choose a Challenger. Yeah, there we go. So there's the Grand Cherokee, but we'll just go ahead and put a Viper there for fun. Alright, so there we go. We got our Viper there. Okay, so the next icon is your phone. Alright, we don't have one paired, but this is what the screen looks like. And once you pair a phone, you'll have access to your phone book, recent calls. You'll be able to dial using a little pad there. You'll have your caller ID there in the center. You can call, and you can mute. You'll have favorites there at the top that'll show up, and you can always transfer it back to your cell phone if you want to have a private call and you don't want everybody in the vehicle to know be in on your conversation. So that gives you an idea right there. You have your icons across the bottom. You just quickly go to them, the ones that you want. So it's pretty easy to use. And then you have some information at the top, including your clock, which is self-adjusted using the GPS system. Okay, so down here you have a traditional volume tuned through the stations. You have that back button, which we saw before, and your screen off. If the screen's just distracting you, you can turn it off, and then you just tap it if you ever want to turn it back on. Your four-way flashes are here. Climate controls right here. You have your fan speed, temperatures, air conditioning, all that good stuff, front and rear defrosters. So that way you don't actually have to go into the controls to access those. So there's a little bit of redundancy as far as buttons, but it's a good way. So that way you can access stuff quickly. The things you can access frequently are right there. Okay, so you have your parking assist. You can turn that feature on, and this will keep you from having to park yourself, basically. So it will park perpendicular or parallel parking. So you can turn that feature on, put your turn signal in the appropriate direction, choose parallel or perpendicular, and it'll find a spot for you. And once you find a spot, it'll tell you what to do. And basically, it gets to the point where you just take your hands off the wheel, you use the accelerator and brake pedal, and it'll guide you right in there. Your parking sensors you can turn off. Your lane keeping assist, your lane sense, you can turn that off if you need to. And then you have your start stop feature, which you can turn off. You just have to do that every time you start the vehicle if you want to turn it off. And your eco mode you can turn off. Sport mode, so if you really want to get sporty, check it out. Now the difference between eco mode, it turns off eco mode when you turn sport mode on, because they are opposing each other. So eco mode will save gas. Sport mode, it'll save gas at the expense of performance. Sport mode will give you the best performance at the expense of fuel economy. So there's a trade-off. Alright, so your traction control, in case you need to spin tires or whatever, you can turn that off. Okay, so right in here is a storage compartment. It's felt lined, but you also have a 12-volt power supply, which has a key on it letting you know that the ignition turns it on and off. And then you have your SD card, USB, and auxiliary inputs right there, and they're all illuminated. They look fantastic at night, easy to find. Here's your cup holders with the illumination around the outside, and then the adjustable side pieces here to adjust for different size cups. Here's your shifter. Let's go ahead and put it in reverse so we can take another look at the backup camera. Now, two things will happen when you put it in reverse. The backup camera will pop up, and then you have the active guidelines. So as you turn the steering wheel, they will turn as well. But you also have your parking sensor meter shows up right here. So in the front and the rear of the vehicle, it will let you know, it'll give you an audible warning if something is in the way, but it'll also give you a visual light indicator on where the actual thing is, left, right, center, or whatever, in an estimated distance, which is really cool. Continuing down, there's neutral, there's drive. That's your normal drive position. It's going to cycle through the gear ratios automatically for you, but if you want to manually do it, and you don't want to use the paddle shifters, or even if you do, you just put it over here in manual mode, and you can use it like a ratchet shifter. So you just kind of bump it and change the gears. Now you can see what gear you're in right here. So there's 1 and 2. It's not going to let me get out of second gear just sitting still, but it gives you an idea where you're at. This is good for downshifting and things when you're going down a hill. Okay, speaking of going down a hill, if off-road use only, there's your downhill descent button. Hill descent control, basically, is what it's called. And it's kind of like a cruise control when you're going. It keeps you at a set speed going down a hill, and it keeps you from sliding too fast. So I don't have any experience personally with it, but it seems pretty cool from what I've seen in videos and people telling me about it. Then you have a four-wheel drive low. Right now we're in automatic four-wheel drive, so it's going to enter in four-wheel drive automatically if needed. Typically it'll be in two-wheel drive though. And then you have different options here, and you're basically telling the vehicle that you need some help in these different places. So in snow, it may start off in second gear to kind of keep you from breaking traction. Then you have sand, rock, mud, that kind of stuff. You can also put this vehicle in a neutral position for flat towing if you need to. And then here's how you raise and lower the vehicle. So right now it's in the lowest position, so if I push up, it'll have this little flashing light. It'll also let me know that it's raising right here, and it will do the front and the back alternating until it reaches the appropriate height. And once it's at that appropriate height, it'll let you know where you're at, and it'll stop blinking. Okay, so here's your center armrest, and it's soft to the touch and very comfortable, and I would say it's big enough to share with your passenger. It depends on how generous you are. And it has a console system in here, but there's two buttons under here, a small one and a large one. So the small one reveals a small felt-lined compartment here. Place to put some tissues in the lid there, but There's a small compartment. It's felt lined. It has a place for wires to go in and out of it, as well as in the second portion. So you can see here's the buttons right here. One small, one large. So let's go ahead and look at the larger portion by pushing the larger button. And this is all felt lined. It has a little light in there, you can see at nighttime, and a 12-volt power supply. And the 12-volt power supply is showing has the battery indicator, letting you know that it's on directly to the battery, and you don't have to worry about turning on the vehicle. So if you want to charge your cell phone while you're in the store, you can do that using this power outlet. And it has a place for wires to go in and out, so when you close the lid, it doesn't pinch them. Now the rearview mirror is an auto dim rearview mirror system here. Let's see if we can get it to auto dim if I cover up the light sensor. But you can turn that feature on and off using this center button, and it will auto dim the side mirrors as well. Now you also have a 911 and an assist button. So these are the 911 will literally call 911 in case of emergency. It has its own cellular connection, this vehicle does. So even if you don't have your cell phone, or your battery's dead on your cell phone, or whatever, you can just push 911 and it'll give you a 10-second delay to cancel, but it'll actually call a 911 operator. You also have the roadside assistance button, which will call the roadside assistance for you. You can also call assistance for certain features that you want to learn how to use and you have a question or whatever. So it's really easy to get help when you need it. Okay, so right in here you have a place to put your shades, and it has this foam portion to protect them, keep them from rattling around. You have tap lights. Now that's more of a floodlight. This is a spotlight here. Same thing on the other side. You have the ability to open up your power lift gate, and you have your HomeLink garage door opener right here. These are for your panoramic sunroof, which we'll get to in just a second. But check out this suede headliner, really nice looking. Even the visors are suede. Then you have mirrors and lights in your visor. And your visors are able to extend out too, so you can get that right position that you want. Okay, so let's take a look at the panoramic sunroof. So it is awesome. Look at that. This back portion is fixed. The front portion can open up and slide back. So let's go ahead and vent it right now so you can see what it looks like. Let's open it up. Actually, let's go back. Make sure it's all the way back. There we go. It'll stop right before the back, and you push it again, it'll go all the way up. And you have a shade that you can close. And this will block 100% of the light. So if you don't want any light on you that day, you can close the power shade and completely block all light and everything. Okay, let's look at the visibility in the back. Okay, so you have lots of glass, and notice that the headrests conveniently line up with the pillars in the back, so they're not really adding to your blind spot or anything. But you have lots of glass on the side and in the back, so really good visibility. And of course, you have all your safety features with helping you backing up and blind spots and all that good stuff. Alright, so there you have it. 2017 Jeep Grand Cherokee Summit 4-wheel drive. Lots of cool features. It's an absolutely amazing vehicle. It's comfortable. It's stylish. I mean, this is a stunning vehicle. So thank you for watching, and thank you to Van Underwood Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram here in Whiteville, North Carolina, for allowing me to show off yet another awesome vehicle. See you guys next time. On a Jeep Grand Cherokee 2017, it has the ride height adjustment on this one. This is the Summit. So it's able to go up and down. I have it in the entry exit mode, which is the lowest position. And I actually was going to give you an idea of the height difference between the lowest and the highest. But the only problem is I completely forgot my measuring tape. So I figured there's another way to show you the difference in a little bit more creative way, and maybe, I don't know, this probably has not been done before, so just let me know in the comments if it has, because I don't want to be, doing the same thing over and over again. But basically, you have this kind of low ride height, and what I was going to do is I was going to put some cash in there to kind of give you an idea, stacks. So measure the amount of stacks that's between the lowest and the highest position. So you see the money kind of flops down. So basically I'm going to hold it up to the fender just to kind of make it flat with the center of the tire. And it looks like about 3 stacks of cash on the lowest position. So let's see what the highest position is. Okay, so at the highest position, we've got already 4 stacks. And let's add some more here. And here, like so. Add a little bit more. Had to get the ones out because they're running out. I don't roll like that. I have to get out the ones to make up this stack here. But that looks about, if I go another stack, it's probably another half a stack. So let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So about 10 and a half stacks, I guess. So that's a pretty big difference.